Hello, and welcome to Freducate and the Basics of Spanish. In today's lesson, we're going to be going over the gender of nouns and the definite article. Now, in English, the definite article is the word the, and in Spanish, every definite article agrees with either masculine or feminine and singular or plural rules. The words we're going over are the word el, la, los, and las. First, we're going to start off with singular nouns in the masculine form. The masculine singular form takes the definite article el, and again in English that means the. Most nouns that end in o are masculine, like el amigo, which means the friend, or el baño, which means the bathroom. Now, many masculine nouns do not end in o. Therefore, it is necessary to learn each noun with its article, such as the hospital, which is el hospital, or the hotel, which is el hotel. Some masculine nouns end in a or ma, such as el dia, which is the day, and el dia ends with an a, or el planeta, the planet. Even though planeta ends with an A, it is still formed with the masculine form of the. Ending in MA is the word el problema, which means the problem, and also el programa, which means the program. Still, ending in A, it begins with el. Now, the feminine singular noun takes the definite article la. Most nouns that end in a are feminine, such as la amiga, which means the friend, or la casa, which means the house. Nouns that end in cion, sion, dad, tad, or tud are feminine, such as la conversación, which means the conversation. You might get confused because it ends with an on, but as I said before, it's important to learn each noun with its article sometimes and get used to using it that way so you don't get confused, because sometimes if you use el in front of the same word as you use la, it can mean two different things. Another example of one that ends in sion is la televisión, which means the television. Ending in dad is la ciudad, which means the city. Ending in tad is la amistad, which means the friendship. And ending in tud is la actitud, which means the attitude. A few nouns that end in o are also feminine, such as la mano, which means the hand, and la radio, which means the radio. Another example of why it's important to learn each noun with its article as you're learning the words, and it will come in handy later on. Now, many feminine nouns do not follow these patterns, such as la clase, which means the class, or la mujer, which means the woman. You can't really tell what they're going to be, so which is why it's important to learn each noun with its article. A noun ending in ista can be masculine or feminine, depending on whether it refers to a male or female. The article indicates the gender of the noun, such as el artista, which means the male artist, because it starts with el. You can also say la artista, which means the female artist, because it starts with la, but the same word artista describes the artist. Just depending on the beginning article, el or la describes whether it's male or female. And the same with other words such as el dentista or la dentista, which is either a male or female dentist. Now, a noun ending in nte can be masculine or feminine, depending on whether it refers to a male or female. The article indicates the gender of a noun. El cantante or la cantante can mean a male or female singer. Same with el estudiante or la estudiante can refer to a male or female student, depending on who you're talking about. Now, with plural nouns, a masculine noun that ends with a vowel takes the definite article los. This is where I was talking about in the beginning, where it's either el or la, los or las. So in the singular form, el dia, which means the day, can also be referred to as los dias, which means the days. The word day in Spanish is dia. Even though it ends with an A, it always has a masculine definite article in front of it, el or los. Same with el hermano, which is the brother. If you want to talk about more than one brother, you just add an S to the end and it becomes los hermanos. Now, if the noun ends in a consonant, el changes to los as before, and the noun adds an es. If you were going to say el animal, which means the animal, if you wanted to talk about more than one animal, you would use los and add an es to animal, and it comes out los animales. Same with a doctor. El doctor in Spanish means the doctor. If you were talking about more than one, you would say los doctores. Same with the feminine. A feminine noun that ends with a vowel, you add an S to the plural, so it takes a definite article las. Such as la tienda, which means the store. If you wanted to talk about more than one store, you would say las tiendas. Same with la ventana, which means the window. If you were talking about all the windows in your house, you would say las ventanas. So you're basically just adding an S to the end of the word and changing it from la to las to correspond with how many people or windows or stores that you're talking about. Now, if the nouns end in a consonant, la changes to las as before, but you add es to the end. So if you were talking about the city, you would say la ciudad. And since it ends with a D, in order to say the cities, you would say las ciudades. Las conforms to the more than one, and the es means that there's more than one city. Las ciudades. Another example is la mujer. Ends with an R, so you have to add an es to the end and use las if you want to talk about more than one woman. Las mujeres. Okay, now the reason this can get confusing is because sometimes you're talking about a person and sometimes you're talking about a thing. All things will retain their definite article, whether it's el libro, which means the book, or el perro, which means the dog, or el vino, which means the wine. Now, when you're talking about a person, like el amigo, that can change, and that's the difficult part because el amigo means the friend as a man, or la amiga means the friend, same thing, except it refers to the feminine version. The same thing with el animal is always el animal, or la canción is always the song. But if you're referring to a person, like the sister, la hermana means the sister, and el hermano means the brother. So I just wanted to point that out because it can get confusing. And the reason it can get confusing again is because some words are the same, some words are different as the male and female versions. Because, like I said before, dentista is always dentista. It's just the difference of whether it has el or la in front of it. So, like I said before, it's important to learn each noun with its article and become comfortable with using these words. And just remember that if it refers to a person, it can change to el or la. But if it refers to a thing, it's always going to retain the same definite article in front of it. And look forward to more tutorials coming in the future. And join us here on Freducate. And I hope you enjoyed another lesson on the basics of Spanish, learning the gender of nouns and the definite article. If you want to join in the conversation, feel free to join us on youtube.com/user/Freducate or find us on freducate.com.